The first story at the top of antiwar.com today. The Pentagon says it has no evidence Iran was behind the drone attack in Jordan, but that doesn't stop them from blaming Iran. So the Pentagon said on Monday that Iran bears responsibility for the drone attack in northeastern Jordan that killed 3 American troops, but admitted it has no evidence that Iran was directly involved. Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Singh said the responsibility fell on Iran due to its support for the Iraqi Shia militias the U.S. believes carried out the attack. And as I've said before, by that logic, that means the U.S. thinks Hamas is in its right to attack the U.S. because it provides support and weapons to Israel, and Russia has the right to attack the U.S. because it provides weapons and support for Ukraine. So one group that Singh said the U.S. believes was responsible is Kateb Hezbollah, which is one of the main Shia militias in Iraq. She said, quote, "In terms of attribution for the attack, we know this is an Iran-backed militia. It has the footprints of Kateb Hezbollah, but we are not making a final assessment. Iran continues to arm and equip these groups to launch these attacks, and we will certainly hold them responsible," end quote. When asked if the U.S. knew Iran and Iranian leaders were... So the question that she was explicitly asked, do you know if Iran was actually behind the attack, as in planned it, coordinated it, or directed it? And Singh admitted that the U.S. had nothing that shows that the U.S. has no evidence at all to say that they directed the attack. She said, quote, "We know that Iran certainly plays a role with these groups. They arm and equip and fund these groups. I don't have more to share on terms of an intelligence assessment on its leaders in Iran were directing this attack," end quote. She was again asked about the claim that Iran was behind the attack and said that the U.S. just knows that Iran funds the groups and that she had nothing more to add. But later in the press conference, she said Iran bears responsibility for the killing of the 3 American soldiers. Also on Monday, the New York Times reported that U.S. intelligence officials have no evidence Iran had advanced knowledge of the attack. The report reads, quote, "American intelligence officials say that while Iran provides weapons, funding, and sometimes intelligence to its proxy groups, there is no evidence that it calls the shots, meaning it may not have known in advance about the attack in Jordan," end quote. And this isn't just this attack in Jordan that they're talking about. This is also the 160 attacks the Pentagon has said that has happened in Iraq and Syria since mid-October. Through all this time, they still say they don't know if Iran is directing these attacks. So Iran, for their part, they're strongly denying that they were behind this attack and say that the resistance factions were targeting the U.S. forces on their own. We'll get more into that in the next story. But these comments from Singh, they come as President Biden is mulling what his response will be to the killing of the 3 American troops. He's under pressure to bomb Iran from the hawks in Congress. I think there's basically 3 options. They target the Shia militias again in Iraq or Syria. I think this time it would be much more intense, maybe not just one round of airstrikes, maybe a few, maybe kind of more of a sustained thing. The second option, I think, they would target Iranian IRGC members in Syria or in Iraq. Or the third is that they would directly attack Iran. Unless they decide to go in some with an Israeli method, which would be like a covert attack inside Iran that they don't officially take credit for. Maybe that's possible too. If I were a betting man, I would say they're going to target Iranians in Syria or Iraq. And then who knows, that could really escalate things. But that's just my guess. Only time will tell what the response is here. And one of the reasons why the Pentagon is so lazy about this, that they're not even trying to fake evidence, because you know that they're not afraid to do that, is just because of the atmosphere. Most of the reporters that they talk to are like furious that they haven't bombed Iran yet. And most people in Congress are super hawkish on this. You know, I saw, I believe it was John Kirby, the National Security Council spokesman. He was on CBS News talking to some CBS guy. I never saw him before. And the guy seemed so upset that the U.S. hadn't attacked Iran yet. I mean, it was really unbelievable. So, you know, that's why they don't think they even need an excuse. If they want to bomb Iran, they're going to do it.